Joseph now begins to wear his coat. He begins to settle in who it is that God has chosen him to be and the things that God is doing in him, because God begins to work in Joseph as a young man, 17 years old. God then begins to let him see, not only do you have my favor on you, but you got a purpose on the inside of you. God gives him the gift of dreams and interpretation of dreams, which in this day and time is something a whole lot of us don't know about because we're scared of it, because we're scared God gonna show somebody our mess. Lord, help me here tonight. But I need you to understand that the gift of dreams and interpretations is very much so a gift from God. Don't let the enemy fool you and cause you to believe that because you can call an 800 line and somebody can try to tell you what it meant. No, baby. When God is working in the midst of that thing, he will cause you to see accurately and then to speak accurately what it is he's about to do. God begins now to allow Joseph to see through his dreams. He sees through his dream what it is that God is going to do in his life. I need to let many of you know tonight that if you're going to make it past where you are now, you got to be able to see something. You got to have some kind of vision. Come on. The Bible says that the people will perish where there is no vision. And I need you to understand that if you're going to escape beyond where you are, if you're going to come up out of poverty, if you're going to escape the hood, if you're going to escape that relationship that means you no good, baby, you got to have a vision. I need you to ask your neighbor, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Joseph began to be hated, and Joseph was envied all because of what he could see.
Preaching here. Work. I'm listening. Come on here.
Joseph saw something. He saw what it is that God was going to do in him. He did not just see the thing because somebody came and told him, you look like the next deacon of the church. You look like you're going to be the next prophet. You look like you ought to be the next apostle. No, Joseph was in a place that what he saw is exactly what God gave him. And because God gave it to him, won't nobody in the earth or in hell that could take back what God. Y'all don't want to help me. Y'all done shouted too much. What God had revealed to him. So Joseph goes on, and because he's excited about what it is God has revealed to him, he begins to share the vision with the right wrong folk. Preacher, that don't make no sense. How are they the right wrong folk? Well, I believe that they are the right people because they needed to hear what God was going to do so they could show their true colors. Come on, y'all remember that commercial? Oh, I see your true colors starting to shine through. When I begin to tell you how it is that I have seen myself debt free, when I begin to tell you how it is that I have seen my whole house saved, when I begin to tell you how it is that I'm going to complete college with a scholarship and come out with a job or a business already up and prosperous, you really show me what you feel about me when you hear what I've been seeing. So he had to let his brothers know what it is that God deposited in his spirit so that they could really expose to him what they really thought about him. Preacher, what is your next point to me? Some of y'all need to understand, ain't no need for you to get mad with the folk who you used to be tight with, but after they heard the word of the Lord, they started to turn on you. Baby, you're just seeing them for who they really are, and you ought to rejoice that you've seen them for who they are now rather than later. Joseph tells his dream to his brothers. They are the right people because he needs their true feelings to be exposed to propel him to the place of promotion. Then he tells the wrong people they're still the wrong people in the same time because they begin to doubt not only what Joseph speaks, but I believe now that they begin to insult God because they doubt his ability to do it. Right. So many of you are here tonight and you have shared your dream. You've shared your vision with the right, wrong people. Now they're showing you their true self. That's a good thing. And the whole truth of the matter is when they begin to doubt God and his ability, when they begin to doubt the fact that his hand is on your life, baby, that's a real good thing because that's something that causes God to stand up in his own self and say, I ain't going to do it just to show her. I got to do it to show the ones that don't like her. I got to do it to show the ones that's hating her. I got to do it to show the ones who say I ain't got enough power. I need to let them know that I am God and ain't nothing too hard for me. If you believe it, open your mouth and shout, it ain't too hard. It ain't too hard. So So Joseph shares his dream with the right wrong people. After it is now that Joseph begins to reveal his vision to those closest to him, Bible lets us know that they now begin to plot. They begin to set up some schemes. What happens here, Demetrius, is that really we begin to see the essence of who they are. We begin to see that there really ain't nothing good in them. Come on, how can you say that, preacher? Because the Bible says that it is out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaks. And if you could dare to speak against what you know God is going to do in me, if you can dare to plot up, if you can dare to set up some type of trap for me to fall in so that I'll come up short of what God has planned, baby, that's just your heart speaking.
Oh, I'm with you. Lord, have mercy. I'm with you.
So his brothers begin now to devise schemes and plots which begin to expose the envy that is on the inside of them. I need many of you to understand tonight that when people start to show envy and where there is a lot of deceit present, where there is a lot of confusion and discord, all because the favor of God is on your life, baby, you need to understand something. That's a real good indication that you're getting ready to get promoted. Lord, help me right here. I'm preaching to my own self. That's a real good sign. When folks start plotting, when people start lying, when folks start running you down, when they start setting traps and snares, baby, you need to know, ain't no need for you to be upset, but do what the Bible says. The Bible says that we ought to rejoice because we've been found worthy to suffer for the sake of God. Let me get back to my text. The Bible lets us know now that his brothers now begin within themselves to devise a plan. They begin now to come up with plots and schemes. Y'all, we gotta get rid of that boy named Joseph. We gotta get rid of that increaser. We gotta get rid of that one who, if he ever gets promoted to the place that God has already given him insight to, he's gonna do some damage in the earth. Oh, I need to talk to about 7 people right here, and I need to let you know that in spite of what kind of plot has been set, and in spite of what kind of scheme the enemy had, I need to help you to understand something, that what they plan ain't gonna work, because the Bible lets us know that no weapon formed against us shall be able to prosper. If you believe it, slap hands with your neighbor and tell them no weapon. Running out of time.
No, you're not. Time is on hold.
To get rid of that increaser. Lord, I hear you. Y'all excuse me. He's talking to me. That ain't on my book. But many of y'all need to understand that the reason the enemy is trying to get rid of you so bad right here is because your praise is causing increase. Your praise is what's holding the enemy up from fulfilling his purpose. The praise that you've been giving God is what's getting ready to increase his glory in your life. The praise that you've been giving God is what's been causing an increase of his covering over your children. When you know they ain't got good sense, I need you to understand something, baby, that the enemy is trying to keep you from increasing. But I wish I had somebody here that would say, I ain't gonna let nothing hold back my praise. I need God to move. Open your mouth right now. That was weak. But I need God to increase me in some